Let's get real about penis size, yours, and the wild misconceptions floating around out there. Today, we're diving deep into the truth about how your size measures up, slicing through the noise of adult films, social media flexes, and those exaggerated locker room tales your buddies swear by. Buckle up for an honest look at what's normal, what's not, and why it's time to stop comparing yourself to the curated chaos online. But here's the thing. We're going to use actual science to give you the real scoop. Are you in the normal range, or are you truly exceptional? This subject is absolutely clouded by myths, unrealistic societal expectations, and serious emotional weight, especially for guys who've been wondering about this their entire adult lives. In this video, I'll guide you through the most reliable scientific data available. Global averages from thousands of men, proper clinical measurement methods, and what those figures actually mean, not just physically, but socially and psychologically too. I'm Dr. Zara, urologist and sexual health expert. I've seen the anxiety, the questions, and the misconceptions that surround this topic, and I'm here to set the record straight with facts, not fiction. Before we explore the real numbers, let's talk about who you think you're competing with. If you've ever watched adult content or heard those wild stories, you might think you need to measure up to some pretty extreme standards. Brace yourself for this reality check. We're talking about claims of 10 to 12 inches. And if you check online forums, dating apps, or social media discussions about this topic, you'll see people boldly claiming they're packing 12 inches, at least. Some even claim more. For my international viewers saying, drop the imperial units, 12 inches equals 30.5 centimeters. Even 10 inches, which is 25.4 centimeters, is extraordinarily rare. That's the kind of size that could potentially land someone in adult films, which should tell you just how uncommon it really is in the general population. But here's what you need to understand. These measurements are almost never verified by medical professionals. To be completely clear, no scientist has ever dragged these adult film performers into a laboratory with a standardized ruler and proper measurement protocols. These are self-reported claims from an industry that's literally built on visual impact, fantasy, and comparison. Official medical measurements? They're usually completely non-existent. Take Johnny Wad, often called the most well-endowed performer in adult film history. Even he wasn't sure if he measured 10 inches or 16 inches. The stories varied wildly depending on who was telling them. But here's what medical experts know. Legitimate measurements in this extreme range never go beyond 12 inches. That's your reference point for what's considered the absolute upper limit. Before we shift gears to the actual scientific data, I need you to set that ruler down for just a second and hit that subscribe button to Men's Health Unfiltered. If you're finding this information helpful and refreshing, drop a like on this video. It's completely free digital support for the creator and incredibly helpful for getting this evidence-based content to more people who need it. Thanks for that support. Now, let's get to what's actually happening with real measurements. Those self-reports you see in my comment section, on dating apps, or here in casual conversations are consistently exaggerated and wildly inaccurate. Psychology research shows that men routinely overestimate their size by 20–25% when self-reporting. For legitimate, reliable data, we need standardized measurements performed by trained medical professionals in controlled, clinical environments. Even then, the process isn't perfectly standardized across all studies. There's still no universal global consensus on the exact measuring technique. Should it be erect, stretched, bone-pressed, or not bone-pressed? Results can vary depending on methodology, but it's still rigorous science, and it's infinitely better than self-reported measurements. The bone-pressed method, which I'll explain in detail shortly, is considered the gold standard because it eliminates variables like body fat and provides the most accurate measurement of actual penile length. So what does the comprehensive scientific data actually tell us? There's a widely respected meta-analysis that studied 15,521 men from around the world. That's a massive sample size that gives us incredible statistical power and reliability. I'm sorry to burst your bubble if you were expecting different news, but the global average isn't 6 inches. It's not even close to that number. The scientifically established average is 5.2 inches or 13.12 centimeters when measured properly. This groundbreaking study pooled data from 20 separate global studies, including specific populations like 144 men from Korea, who were part of that total 15,521 participants. And before anyone jumps to conclusions, no, the inclusion of Asian populations didn't artificially lower the global average. That's a harmful stereotype that the data completely disproves. But here's what's crucial to understand. 5.2 inches isn't the complete picture. An average represents a range, not a single target number, thanks to something statisticians call normal distribution. The same pattern we see in height, weight, and virtually every other human physical characteristic. Approximately 68% of all men fall within what's called the central range, from 4.5 to 5.8 inches, or 11.46 to 14.78 centimeters. This means that if you're anywhere in this range, you're statistically normal. You're in the majority of men worldwide. About 95% of men fall between 3.9 and 6.5 inches. Only about 2.5% of men are longer than 6.5 inches, and only 2.5% are shorter than 3.9 inches. This puts extreme measurements in proper perspective. They're genuinely exceptional, not typical. These measurements were taken using the bone-pressed method, which is the clinical standard. Here's exactly how it works. You measure along the top of the penis, press the ruler firmly into the fat pad at the base until it contacts the pubic bone, then read the measurement at the tip of the glans. This method eliminates variables like body fat percentage and gives the most accurate measurement of functional length. Before we discuss girth measurements, let's put the adult film industry in proper scientific context. How do those performers actually compare to these 15,000-plus men in legitimate studies? The data is clear. Not a single participant in these comprehensive studies measured 10 inches. 10 inches didn't even register as a data point. It's statistically so rare it's practically mythical, like finding a unicorn with a measuring tape. This makes sense when you consider that adult entertainment is a visual medium designed for fantasy, not documentary accuracy. Camera angles, body positioning, optical illusions, and selective casting all contribute to unrealistic perceptions. Speaking of measurements and perceptions, for many men, the penis represents far more than just a reproductive organ. It's tied to identity, masculinity, and cultural expectations. That's exactly why hearing average can feel emotionally difficult to accept, even when it's scientifically accurate and completely normal. But here's a fundamental truth that's worth understanding. Average is not just normal, it's actually ideal from an evolutionary and functional perspective. Nature has spent millions of years optimizing the human body for successful reproduction and compatible partnerships. Evolution wants you to find sexually compatible partners easily to maintain genetic diversity and species survival. A massive penis might boost individual ego, but average dimensions are often much better for your partner's comfort and pleasure. Most sexual partners are completely satisfied with average measurements, and many actually prefer them. If length gets most of the attention and anxiety, girth deserves equal consideration. Many experts and surveys suggest it's equally or more important for partner satisfaction. In that same comprehensive study of over 15,000 men, the average erect girth measured 4.6 inches in circumference, or 11.66 centimeters, with a normal range spanning from 4.2 to 5.0 inches, 10.56 to 12.76 centimeters. Reliable scientific data on adult film performer girth measurements? It's extremely hard to find because length measurements get all the media attention and generate more discussion, but girth often matters more for physical compatibility and pleasure. If you're feeling anxious or inadequate about your measurements after years of unrealistic comparisons, please remember this. What we see online, in adult content, and in popular media is heavily curated, edited, and often completely fabricated. Most sexual partners care significantly more about emotional connection, communication, technique, and overall intimacy than any specific measurement. Your penis is just one component of your sexuality, and being statistically average is actually a strength. It means your body is functioning exactly as millions of years of evolution intended. The bottom line? 6 inches isn't typical. It's actually above average. The real average is 5.2 inches, and anywhere from 4.5 to 5.8 inches puts you squarely in the normal range with the majority of men worldwide. Your worth as a partner and as a person has absolutely nothing to do with these measurements. Confidence, communication, and connection matter infinitely more than any number on a ruler. Want to explore more about sexual performance, building confidence, and maximizing pleasure for both you and your partner? Check out my next video where we'll explore evidence-based techniques that actually matter for great sex. Remember to subscribe to Men's Health Unfiltered for more myth-busting, science-based content about men's health and sexuality. Thanks for watching, and remember, you're perfectly normal exactly as you are.